Hello, everyone. If you followed me on Instagram, you'll see that most of the stories that I share are records playing. I've been collecting vinyl for a long time, but really got into it in 2023 and been watching YouTube videos and going to every record shop that I can, trying to find cool stuff that I like. I don't have that many in my collection right now, about 140, which really is not a lot compared to a whole ton of other collectors. But I like it. It's fun. I really like the whole aspect of playing vinyl. So as I've been watching these YouTube videos, I found that there is a vinyl tag 2024. Yeah, vinyl tag 2024, where it's a gentleman named Rob Barker created 20 questions, came up with 20 questions, and said, hey, anyone who is into vinyl, collects, has a YouTube channel, answer these questions about your collection, what type of music you like, and make a video about it. So this is my attempt at it. Um, the first question is, what is your favorite record you bought in 2023? And to me, this was super easy. It is the Kiss Dynasty album. I really like this. My favorite song on here is 2000 Man. The words to that are hilarious and cool. It's just a great song. Then, of course, it has I Was Made for Loving You, which is a classic Kiss song. But this is my favorite record that I bought in 2023. I got it at a place called Bargain Records in Renton. This record was not so much a bargain, but I'm really happy that I got it. Question number two is, what is the last record you bought in 2023? And I have been listening a ton to the Beach Boys, and I had Endless Summer, but I didn't have Pet Sounds. So I messaged Royal Records on Queen Anne in Seattle, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have Pet Sounds? And almost right away, they replied and said, here you go, we do have one. Do you want us to hold it? And I said, you know what? You don't have to hold it because if someone wants to get it, they can just go ahead and get it. But I'm going to try to get in there. So I went in when as soon as I could. They still had it. So this was the last one that I got, which was Pet Sounds. I love this album. God Only Knows How I Feel About You. God Only Knows, great song. Wouldn't It Be Nice? Great song. This is a whole great album. I've been reading more about the Beach Boys. There's a Beach Boys Charles Manson connection. If that is of interest to you, you should just check it out. Dennis Wilson, Charles Manson. And then again, shout out to Royal Records and Queen Anne. Question number three is, a band or singer who released two or more records in 1 year. I've got nothing for this one. Said my collection is small. I don't really have a lot. And actually, I'm just sort of getting into music and, really getting all nerdy and really talking about influences and styles. That's relatively new to me. My really, really good friend in the whole entire world, whom I love very much, KL Young, he and I hang out, listen to music, and talk about music, and he's teaching me a whole lot. Our tastes differ, which is super cool, but I'm just sort of getting into it. So for number three, I've got nothing. Number four. Number four is, if you could listen to music from one decade, which decade would it be? And actually, this is the question that I thought about the most. And I'm going to say the 80s. Because it has a ton of hard rock in there that I really like. So Metallica, Kiss is in there. Um, there's just a whole lot of really good hard rock, but it also has really good Mexican music that I like. So Temerarios, Bronco, Los Bukis. I love all of that stuff too. So I think that the 80s would give me an all around better variety if I could just stick to one decade. Question number five. Show an album from a band or a singer in Manchester. And I was surprised that I had one. And it is Herman's Hermits. I really like this one. It's really poppy. You probably know the I'm Henry the Eighth I Am, of course, is one of their biggest ones that they're known for. I like this record. It's actually one of the first records that I bought a few years ago. Like I said, I haven't been doing it for too long, but this is the band that I have that is from Manchester. Question number six. Which band or singer did you listen to most in 2023? For me, that is Blink 182. I've listened to Blink 182 almost every day. This whole album, their newest album with Tom Back, I love it. It's great. And then of course the older stuff, even without Tom, is still really good. I would say that I've listened to Blink the most in 2023. Question number 7: show 7 7-inch records. I don't have 7. I only have one, and this is from a record release that I got at Georgetown Records from the band The Zack Static Sect. Um, it's it's I love this song. Um, it is called I really like this song. It's called Mario Likes to Ride. Uh, I can't really explain it. Like I said, so I'm not so versed in being able to describe music, just what I like or not. But this is the only one I have. So you're saving. I don't have the other 6. All right. Question number 8 is really interesting. It is, you're going to have a dinner party and you can invite 4 musicians, past or present. Who will they be? Um, this one is really interesting because it's probably going to be a good mix of people. So the first person that I would invite would be Dave Grohl. I mean, who doesn't love Dave Grohl? I love Dave Grohl. I love the Foo Fighters. So he's definitely there. And then I would invite Lars Ulrich, the drummer from Metallica. Um, I think he would just have some really cool stories. I think it would be really interesting how he thinks. And then, of course, he will have great drumming stories with Dave. As you can see, I'm into the drums. I like drummers. And then third, it would probably be Steve Perry. And that's an interesting choice. But if you think about it, from him having the amazing voice, having issues with it, walking away, and then coming back, I think there's a whole lot of, motivational, inspirational information that you can get from Steve Perry, from Journey. And then for number 4, oh, I think I might actually have to pause the video and then come back. Because for number 4, I think it would probably be, man, let's see here. I would do, I would do Tom from Blink 182 because Blink was mega popular and then he decided to, you know what, I'm going to step away. And then what he stepped away to is pretty nutty, UFOs and a whole bunch of other stuff. So there has to be great stories there. So the mix of Dave Grohl, Lars Ulrich, Steve Perry, and Tom from Blink. I think that would be an interesting dinner party, and that we will probably get really, 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 really drunk. Number 9, we lost them. Choose one musician who passed away in 2023. I went through all of my collection. I have no artists who passed away in 2023. So that one was quick. Number 10. Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. Which one would it be? It's pretty easy. I mean, there's 3 that I have. Of course, the U.S., Mexico, and England. All of them have fantastic music. But I think just for variety and keeping things, you can listen to one style, then listen to the other. It has to be the U.S. Number 11 is name 3 vinyl YouTube channels that you discovered in 2023. Uh, I'm going to say for the first one is Norman Mazzy Maslov's channel, Mazzy. And I discovered him because I was looking for just videos on Record Store Day for last year, saw his, and I was in his video. We were both at Silver Platters in Soto in Seattle, and I remember seeing him. I don't remember him having a camera, and I remember him talking to someone else for a while. But I was looking through the list of the available albums on Record Store Day, and hearing him a little bit behind me, but didn't really pay too much attention. And then as I'm going through YouTube videos about Record Store Day, I see his, and then I'm like, hey, that location looks familiar, and then there I am. And I thought, how cool is that? So I messaged him and I said, hey, Mr. Maslov, I said, I have a podcast. It would be cool if you could come on. And he replied within a few days and said, email me in a few weeks and we'll get one going. So, Mazzy, Mr. Maslov, you can, your friends call you Mazzy. Um, I would love to have you. And then this is the studio, the podcast studio. Second would be Dylan from Noble Records. He's just a very knowledgeable guy about all different types of music. I love watching his his videos. Um, I like that he talks about not worrying too much about value or collectibles, even though he has tons of really rare and collectible records, or just getting what you like and appreciating it. So I really love that. And then the third one is going to be my and my buddy KL Young's podcast that we're going to call KCYZ Nerd Radio. And a big chunk of what we're going to be talking about is vinyl and the music that we like and why. And again, we do overlap on a lot of stuff, but on other stuff we don't. And it's going to be really interesting to hear how we each talk about that and try to get the other to see our point. And I'm sure some fun talk about Blink 182 will be on there. So Mazzy's channel, Dylan from Noble Records, and the soon to be released KZYZ Nerd Radio. Okay, question number 12. Show a record you bought when you were a teenager. I don't have one. I didn't buy records when I was a teenager. I bought cassettes, single cassettes. I remember going to Sam Goody or some other store in the mall and going through their cassettes and buying them for, I don't know, like $3 for a single. But I don't have those. Who knows where those are? So I don't have any records. I also remember being a kid going through the Columbia House uh, catalog and looking at $50 CDs because they sold me 8 CDs for 1 penny. Um, but no vinyl. So that's another fast one. All right, question 13. Show a funk or a soul record. I was going through my stuff and I don't really have any dedicated soul or funk records yet. But the closest that I did get is Amy Winehouse. And I actually had to Google to see if Amy Winehouse was a soul singer. And they do. She has some soulful songs in here. And I love this. I love this album, the Back to Black. Shame what happened. She could have made some fantastic music. But this is one of my favorites. I love this one a whole lot. So Amy Winehouse. Question 14. Show a record you think everyone has, and then show a record that you think no one has. And for me, the record that I think everyone has is Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. Every record store that I go to, there's copies of this. Everyone wants a copy of Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. So I do think that everyone has this. Now, a record that I think no one has, and shout out to Georgetown Records in Georgetown in Seattle, because this is where I got this one. This is Klaus Nomi. Do you know who Klaus Nomi is? He is an operatic synthetic singer. And the reason that I know about Klaus is because I saw a show. I went to a dinner show where they highlighted his music. And it's very different, operatic, but synthetic at the same time. And when I saw that Georgetown record had this one, didn't even think about it. Didn't even look at the price, just got it. And I'm like, I have to have this. And this is Klaus Nomi. If you have this record, let me know in the comments. But I think this is one that not a whole lot of people have. All right, question 15. The question is, She's Great. A record by a female artist you bought in 2023. Super easy. I love this. I love her. Selena, from Selena Los Dinos. This is her greatest hits, and I've been playing this a whole lot. This is probably number 2 to Blink, the what I've been listening to the most. Well, I've only had this for a few months, but I've been playing it a ton. This is her greatest hits, like I said. I love all of them. I mean, of course, I'm at the right age where when she was murdered, I was in shock. I was a teenager, and it was horrible. All of the girls around me were crying when they found out that she died. Even my mom was super sad that she had died, that she had been murdered. But this is my favorite female singer album that I bought in 2023, Selena. Oh, and then shout out to Easy Street Records because that's where I got this one. Like I said, this was another one where as soon as I saw it, I just took it. Didn't care how much it cost. I just got it. Now, the next question is, what album do you describe as pure 90s? And to me, for my collection and what I have, is Nirvana Nevermind. Um, I grew up in Chicago in the 90s and didn't, alternative didn't get too deep into my area of where I lived near Chicago. I mean, we did have Smashing Pumpkins, but as far as my group and who I hung around with, not so much. But as soon as I started to explore a little bit more and started to learn about other types of music, and I found Nirvana, just blew my mind. And love this record, love every song on here. And again, it's a shame. I think they could have made a whole lot more music, but happy that Dave came out of that and has been making really, really good music. So this is what I think is the epitome of 90s music. All right, this next one is fun. If you could walk into a cover, pick a cover, pick one of your albums, and you could just time warp or enter that dimension and be inside of that cover, which album would that be? Um, this was a fun one. So what I chose was this Marconi album. First, I love the 60s style with this chair. And then, of course, come on. I mean, something in the fantasy here. The imagination will run wild. Yeah, so that is the answer to this one. And this is actually a great album, too. It's a compilation of all of his soundtracks, and he made music for westerns back in the 60s. So it's a really interesting listen, and I love that this is a double album, and it has a really cool orange vinyl on there. So yep, it would be Marconi. Question 19. I'm almost done. This is going to be the shortest Vinyl Tag 2024 video, because for a few of them I just didn't have any answers. So question 19 is, it's like the greatest hits. Show a record you're so familiar with that it feels like a best of. And to me, that is the Foo Fighters' Wasting Light. I love this whole album. I know every single song. Bridge Burning, Rope, Dear Rosemary. I think that's a deep cut for Foo Fighters. Dear Rosemary, White Limo, Alandria, These Days, Back and Forth, A Matter of Time, Miss the Misery. And then, of course, the D side is I Should Have Known and Walk. All of them, I love them all. I love this whole thing. And I got this when it came out, so I've had it for a few years. And this has been played through quite a bit. So Foo Fighters, Wasting Light. We're down to the last question. The last question is, show a record from 1974. And I did have one. I was surprised. I did have one. Like I mentioned before, I'm digging the Beach Boys. So Endless Summer was released in 1974. So I do have one. This is also a great one. I mean, if you put this on, it just makes you happy. And it's, you really can't beat that. That's part of, the enjoyment of music. You want some to kind of make you mad so that you can either work out or, complete a task. But sometimes you just want to be happy and smile and, put a little spring in your step. And to me, that's the Beach Boys. And then this guy here, Endless Summer, was released in 1974. So those are the 20 questions. I went through them pretty quickly. Thank you for watching. Like I mentioned before, me and my boy Kelly are going to have a podcast called the KCYZ Nerd Radio Podcast. And it's going to be released on Monday. So that's the 8th, I believe the 8th of January. I'm going to try to, it's going to be the 8th of January. So give us a listen, I'll tag. And then thank you to Norman Maslow for making great videos. And then thank you to Dylan from Noble Records for making great videos. They're teaching a whole lot, super enjoyable. I look forward to watching more. And yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Instagram, CZ Media Podcast. And you'll get to see what I'm listening to on a daily basis. So thank you. Adios.